Hi guys. I wanted to go over, there was 4 questions that were asked on last night's homework. The first one was number 1. Number 1, I'm thinking the difficulty came because we didn't know where this 15x minus 12 was, what it was referring to. It's actually talking about this entire arc AED. So if you thought it was AE, which it looks like it could have been, if you thought it was AE, that's probably where you're making your mistake. It's giving you the entire arc measure right there. So it's an outside angle that we're looking at. We're going to take our big arc minus our little arc and divide by 2 to set it equal to our outside angle. So I'm going to set this up as 2x plus 17, and that's going to be equal to 1/2 of my big arc, 15x minus 12, minus my little arc, which is 8x minus 4. Again, my big arc minus my little arc, divide it by 2 and set it equal to your outside angle. That's where this equation comes from. Now this is really important, this step right here. We forget this a lot. We have to distribute that negative to both of those guys inside your term here, 8x minus 4. So when I distribute that, I'm going to get my 2x plus 17. That's equal to 1/2 of 15x minus 12 minus 8x plus 4. And then I'm going to combine like terms. 2x plus 17 is equal to 1/2. 15x minus 8x is going to leave me with 7x. Negative 12 plus 4 is going to leave me a negative 8. Now I don't want to distribute this 1/2. This is an odd number, so I'm going to get a fraction. I don't want to deal with that. So instead I'm just going to get rid of this 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2. So my 2 and my half cancel. Here I distribute. So 2 times 2x is going to give me 4x. 2 times 17 is 34. And that's going to be equal to 7x minus 8. And then I'm just solving for x here. So I'm going to subtract 7x from both sides. Get negative 3x minus 34 from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 42, which means x is equal to 14. From there, my question is asking for the measure of arc AED. So AED is this entire arc up here on top. I'm going to get my 15x minus 12, replacing my 15 with 14 minus 12, and that's going to leave me with 198. Number 7. I got tons of questions on this, and I'm thinking it's because I had entered the answer in incorrectly. So I think a lot of you guys are wondering where that was coming from. It was just because it was a typo. It was wrong. So I'll still go over this one. They're telling us the measure of angle MKL. MKL, this angle right here, is 4x plus 11. And the measure of arc MK going your shortest distance, always, it's going to be 12x minus 42. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. I know that this angle MKJ, the vertex is on the circle. Just like an inscribed angle, it opens up to the arc, so it's going to be half of the arc that it makes. So this angle right here is going to come out to be half of this, which is 6x minus 21. And I know both of these angles together make a linear pair, which means they are supplementary, so I'm going to set them equal to 180. 6x minus 21 plus 4x plus 11 all equals 180. Or what I could have done instead of halving this to give me this angle, I could have doubled this to give me the measure of this arc right here. So the measure of this arc is, taking this guy times him by 2, I'm going to get 8x plus 22. And now I have the distance all the way around my circle, so then I could do 12x minus 42 plus 8x plus 22, and that equals my entire circle, which is 360. So whatever one you want to do, if you saw that you could take a half, do a linear pair, or double it to give you your entire circle, either one works. I'm going to use this guy right here. I'm going to get 10x, combining like terms 6x and 4x, and then I'm going to take my negative 21 and positive 11, which is going to give me negative 10, and that is equal to 180. Adding 10 to both sides, I'm going to get 10x is equal to 190, which means x is equal to 19. Again, if you solve this guy, you'll still get that x is equal to 19. The question's asking for the measure of angle MKL. So MKL is this guy right here. I'm going to take my 4x plus 11, and now I'm replacing my x with 19. And that's going to give me an answer of 87. Again, there was a typo originally if you did this pretty early on in the day, and then I fixed it. So hopefully not everybody saw that. The answer really is 87. Number 8, I have an inside angle. With my inside angle, not going through the center, just an inside angle, I know it's going to be the average of the arcs that it makes. So going out this way, I'm going to take my inside angle, 5x plus 2, and that's going to be equal to 1/2 of the 2 arcs, which is going to be 49 plus 8x minus 9. 5x plus 2 is equal to 1/2 of 49 minus 9 is going to give me 40 plus 8x. Now in this case, these guys are both even numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute the half to these. I'm going to get 5x plus 2, and that's going to give me 20 plus 4x. And then subtracting 4x from both sides, I get x minus 2 from both sides, so I get x is equal to 18. The question's asking for the measure of angle QTR, so QTR is this angle right here. I'm going to take my 5x plus 2 and replace my x with 18, which is going to give me 92. And number 9. These guys here are tangent. They're giving you your big arc and your little arc, but I still can't use that to find this guy because that's too many unknowns. This would be unknown, and then I have x's here. So I first have to figure out the value of x. Now, they're giving me all the way around my circle, and I know the entire measure of my circle comes out to be 360. So I'm going to start by doing 10x minus 8 plus 4x plus 32. All together, that equals 360 degrees. Again, I'm going all the way around my circle. So solving this, combining my like terms, 10x and 4x is going to give me 14x. Negative 8 and a positive 32 is going to be 24, and all this is equal to 360. Subtracting 24 from both sides, I'm going to get 14x is equal to 336, which means x is equal to 24. All right, so x is equal to 24. I'm going to take that and plug it back into one of my arcs. My 10 times 24 minus 8, so 10 times 24 minus 8, it's going to give me a measure of 232. Now I can do 360 minus 232 to figure out what my little arc is, or I can just do 4 times 24 plus 32. However you want to do that, but this little arc here is going to give me a measure of 128. So now that I have both parts of my arc, I can do my measure of angle JKL, so this outside angle here is going to be equal to 1/2 of my big arc, 232, minus my little arc of 128. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 104, which is going to give me 52. All right, guys, let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.